Pranita, the many excuses have been, put forward both by Udhayanidhi Stalin as well as, his friends and allies in the Congress and elsewhere saying, oh, he was talking about the caste system. But my issue is here, if he wanted to say something about the caste system, he should have said caste system or varna or something like that. But he specifically chose the words Sanatana dharma, knowing full well what it means. And Sanatana dharma and caste system are not synonyms. Pranita, I think you're on mute.
Am I audible now?
Yes, go ahead.
I feel that this was done with an intention to start a controversy, as we all know how the nation is inclining towards Sanatana dharma and Hinduism. And I think this is an attempt to reverse that maybe. And this sort of reminds me of what Hitler did in Germany back then, where he tried to sort of corner the marginalized communities, the Jews, and that's exactly what's happening here. That's the parallel I draw here, where I think the way that Dravidian secularism is slightly different from the secularism that the rest of India is practicing, and it's quite shocking that the CM's son is had to resort to this.
So you would say, Pranita, that there is no excuse that, someone like an Udhayanidhi Stalin, who is not just the chief minister's son, but also a minister in the government in Tamil Nadu, has sent out the wrong message? Because it is one thing to question. One can, in a democracy where free speech, exists, one can question Sanatana dharma, one can question religions, one can question the tenets of all religions. But it is when you use words like dengue and malaria and eradicate, that's where the problem comes in, right?
Absolutely. I think this was to hurt the sentiments of the Hindus in Tamil Nadu. And I think knowing that they are a majority there, I'm sure that soon they will realize and they will be able to open their eyes to the reality of what it is and how they are being coaxed, they are being brainwashed into thinking how the words you just said about how the derogatory words he used against Sanatana dharma.
Okay, very, very strong words from you, Pranita. Professor Iyer, our people, you've given us the historical context and the meanings of these words and what Udhayanidhi Stalin has actually hit at by using those words. I want to ask you, Professor, are people wrong to be offended by what he has said? Are people, because, there are many. One conversation is saying, oh, don't overreact. This kind of thing is said very often in politics. Everyone makes such remarks from time to time. If you go back down in history of the DMK, many people have said similar things. So are people wrong to be offended by the words used by Udhayanidhi Stalin, Professor Iyer?
Here again, I'm not a political analyst, Shiv, but what I have been observing since a while is that tolerance has become a one-sided thing, and whenever somebody says something anti-Hindu, there's a lot of preaching about be tolerant about multiple views, and also in a way they are normalizing hatred towards Hinduism and expecting the Hindus to be tolerant towards it. Whereas anybody says anything remotely critical about the other religions, they are threatened and removed out of job, harassed, online, offline. So there is, I think what makes me very sad is that there is a systematic building of hatred against the civilizational roots of India. And that comes at a time where, just last week, we were celebrating the successful Chandrayaan-3 and, celebrating those scientists who were balancing their spiritual, religious, professional sides. And recently we had a Sengol installed at the parliament from the Shaiva Adhinams, and none of the Mathadipatis there are actually the Brahmins, these people love to hate, and that too, even that hate is not, totally is not support worthy. But when we have an ecosystem that is so supportive and harmonious, there are continuous attacks just because, and I don't know, it reeks of they just don't have any good issue to take up, or they don't have the ability to
also,
fight on two issues.
I agree with what you're saying.